Attention, all curious minds, innovators, and trendsetters. It's time to pause, lean in, and get ready for an extraordinary journey as we dive deep into the fascinating realms of life, technology, entertainment, and business. Let's explore, learn, and grow together. Brace yourselves, for the next thrilling episodes of Hipther Talks is about to take off. Counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Hi everyone, Zoltan here. We're back again at Hipther Talks, and this time we are still sticking to the iGaming topic. It has been very popular this year. And I have the pleasure of having Harpo Lilja, founder at Tugi Tark. Hi Harpo, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Zoltan. Nice to be here.
All right, so we before we dive in, you know that we have this tradition here on Hipther Talks that we like to give the opportunity for our guests to say a few words about themselves in their own words. I must have said this at least 170 times already, but it's good for our new audience to hear. So Harpo, tell our audience who they're dealing with today.
Yeah, sure. My name is Harpo Lilja, originally from Sweden. I'm here currently now, just south of the Norwegian border on the west coast. Normally, I'm spending most of my time in Spain and Portugal, Barcelona and Estoril, a bit south of Lisbon. And yeah, I'm the founder of Tugi Tark, Estonian startup that was we founded and went live April last year. And before that, I was running outsourcing provider within customer support in the iGaming industry as well, called Rubico since 2016. 38 years old. Like technology, like iGaming, like cryptocurrency, and then many other things.
All right. Okay. Let's rewind back to the beginning of what you said. So you spent over a decade running customer support, right? And you had this outsourcing company before founding Tugi Tark. What finally pushed you to say, okay, we need to build this ourselves?
It was not one specific event, but it was years of frustration working with legacy system. So when we were an outsourcing customer support provider, we saw recurring challenges in handling high volumes of routine inquiries across languages, cultures, time zones. And then I think it was in the end of 2022 when the AI technology became accessible for the public market, it became very clear that we could build a better system ourselves. And I think we felt that the iGaming industry really deserved that because of the specifics. Very particular way of doing support, which it's the case for iGaming.
All right. So I'm also interested about the name, because every time I hear a unique brand name, I'm really excited, and I always want to know what it means. So I looked it up, and Tugi Tark literally means smart support, right?
That's correct. Tugi means support, and Tark means smart. We have placed them the other way around because we think it sounds better. But yes, that's the meaning of the name. I think it's important with a name that is catchy, and I think Tugi Tark is quite catchy, and it's reflects our roots. So that's why it's an Estonian name for an Estonian company, and yeah, kind of like it.
All right. So when did it first click for you that the industry needed something smarter?
It was when I was sitting in front of the operation that was running with the outsourcing business, and we handled millions of tickets. Large portion of them are repetitive tasks like password resets, bonus queries. And I got this vision that the job of a support agent should be something different than what it was back then. And it's more of a coordinator, be responsible for the policies, the procedures, the terms and conditions, the bonus campaigns, but then train the AI, quality assure the AI, work with the data to improve player experience. And less of what it was before, repetitive task like typing the same message or send the same templates over and over again. And I think it's needed on another take is that customer support agents have one of the highest turnovers in any job position, and we hope that this will change by bringing in the future and changing the way of this role.
All right, so yeah, we would like to say that the iGaming support might be different than the other industries because you have lots of puzzles in there, the KYCs, the bonuses, etc. So you work with over 100 brands across the years, and I'm interested about what's uniquely challenging about customer support in the iGaming space compared to the other industries.
Sure. Just to throw your question, if you ever reach out to support yourself, could you just mention one other industry or case where you reach out for support, and what could that be?
Yeah, it was for some delivery of I think it was a keyboard I ordered, and it wasn't delivered. It was delivered to a different address in a different city, and chatbot replied first, but it was good to see that the person then logged in and told me the solutions, and they quickly fixed everything, and I got the package the second day.
Yeah, you have e-commerce, right? Where's my order?
Yes, yeah.
Can you provide a tracking update? I think in banking you have many, like, how can I reset my online banking password, or I lost my PIN code.
Yeah.
Healthcare, it could be, I want to cancel my appointment. So in B2C iGaming support, you're dealing with players, and most of the time they experience high emotions when they're interacting with support. They lost money, they won money, their withdrawal is taking too long, their deposit haven't arrived to their player account, but they have been taken from their bank account. Most of the time, operators offer their services 24/7. Most operators, even the small ones, they operate globally with players from all over the world speaking different languages. They have different cultures. Of course, that's happening in other industries too, but in those industries, most of those who do that is global players with unlimited resources. And of course, you deal with plenty of fraudsters. And unfortunately, at times, someone have lost more than they own. That creates a lot of anxiety. In the worst case scenario, that leads to a suicidal threat for the support agents. I think during COVID first month, we had one suicide threat a day with outsourcing business. So I would say that's a bit about what's particular with iGaming support.
All right, so that's totally different than the other industries. And of course, bonus enabling, and people don't understand the way it works. Probably they address that to support too. Yeah, it's challenging. So you talked about support being more than a cost center, so that it can actually be a strategic differentiator for the brands. So can you break this down?
Yeah. So traditionally, I think support have been seen as a cost center in most industries. But in iGaming, so most operators, they have the same service offers. It's very similar games. It's very similar payment providers and many other similarities. And the support is a very good tool to stand out, be exceptional. For example, resolving a payment issue quickly can prevent churn. It's also a good chance to upselling, like bonus suggestions, which is a great way to impact player activity. And this loyalty, if you have a good support team and you have the same service offer as your competitor, but you have an excellent customer support, that creates a lot of loyalty and ties to the players, and give them this confidence of, if something goes wrong with this casino, I know that I can go to their support, and I know that I will always be treated fairly and with transparency and clear guidance of why, how, and when.
All right. So, as for somebody who has worked in B2C selling mobile phones and prepaid contracts. Yeah, it was crazy. It's like the same emotion you had back then with people coming in, spending their more money on their credits because there were credits back then and minutes that they can own and blah blah blah. So yeah, it was the same things, but you had that person in front of you, not just like sitting in front of a computer or phone. So yeah, that's a different story. So Tugi Tark is all only just coming out of stealth mode, right? And you
Yeah.
guys already have a massive traction. So what's the biggest problem your platform is solving for operators right now?
I think it depends on who you talk to. I think that the value that we
Uh-huh.
bring to the table is very different depending on if you speak to the CFO or the CEO or the support agent or the operation manager or the player. But to mention a few, I think managing growing support volumes without proportional cost increases. So our AI agent can handle a big chunk of the incoming volumes without human intervention. We also built something that's called a smart router. So the system
Okay.
is giving the agents the priorities based on custom configuration. And this is a real booster for efficiency and productivity. The most important criteria of this functionality is the prioritization based on player segment. We believe that any operator wants their VIPs to be served before a non-depositor.
Yeah.
And then another one is the entering new markets without hiring native agents until you reach the proof of concept. So if you're an operator and you're interested in, I don't know, entering the Japanese market, but you maybe doesn't have all the pieces in place, you're not really sure how the performance will go, but you want to give it a try. With our AI agent and also our translation feature, you can have a German agent speaking perfectly with a Japanese player with the right language, with the right translation, with the right cultural nuances. So that's to mention a few that would bring value to the industry in terms of our software.
We also read that you are working with over 10 million past support tickets to train your AI. So that's a serious data advantage you guys have. So how does this training actually improve outcomes for players?
Yeah. So this quote that I'm going to say now is I didn't invent it, but it came from our CTO. But so the AI is not better than the data it had been trained on.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yes, it is a great advantage. And so AI is very good at something that's predictable, known, recurring, or governed by very clear policies. So for us to train our AI on iGaming tickets that have been performed and sold over the past 10, nearly 10 years, it teaches industry-specific patterns like bonus terms or regulatory queries, and this results in a more accurate, context-relevant responses, leading to quicker resolution for players, often in seconds, and that leads to higher satisfaction. As our AI understands nuances that generic models don't or miss. So I think this is a great advantage for us, and very grateful that we have access to this data from the past.
All right, not to mention the plus 250 languages you guys have covered. So how are you pulling this off while still keeping things accurate and relevant, and also the biggest part, real time?
Yeah, good question. So the solution supports 250 languages. The current model focus on a smaller subset of languages. We use multiple language models, especially the slower ones and more accurate, as a part of the process of refining and measuring the quality of the language and the emotional accuracy. So ultimately, the quality of the interaction will be determined by the quality and authenticity of the training data. But this is a scale as we go. So we can do 250 languages, but we start with around 20, a smaller subset. But as soon as it's coming in, new operators that want to operate in languages that we haven't focused on to start with, it's very easy for us to scale that up.
All right. So the next part is dedicated for our doomers audience out there, because some of not that many, but we can say a lot of industries see AI as a replacement. But your approach is more of a hybrid, and that's what we've been preaching here for the past 1 year. That it has to be hybrid. It cannot be AI total replacement. So why is that model so important?
Because as I mentioned before, what it's very good at, AI, is predictable, known, recurring, or governed by clear policies. But far from everything in iGaming support is this. So we will reach a point where, or as we go, the AI will be able to do more and more and more. The more data it's trained on, and the better it's become with every model. I don't know if you saw the Grok 4 model, and it's new releases all the time, and they get better and better. But it's still a big part that still needs to at least have human oversight. And I think it's going to be like that for a quite some time moving into the future. So we see this as a hybrid. Of course, we believe that the AI will handling more and more for every week that goes by. But for now, the humans needs to be there and overlooking it and work with the AI instead of being replaced by it. That's what we believe.
Exactly. This is what we've been talking about in the past episode as well. It certainly helps you develop more things. Even companies can advance faster, hire more people. So actually, it create jobs due to the expansion you can do. So how do you decide what the AI should handle versus what gets escalated to a human?
Yeah, and yes, it goes over in this question, I must say. But I think that the humans you definitely want to use the human for empathy-driven cases.
Exactly.
Definitely. So can you repeat the question?
All right. So of course. So how do you decide what the AI should handle versus what gets escalated to a human?
Okay. So we actually leave this decision to our clients.
Okay.
We provide them the tool, but they make the decision about the details. Also, because the industry is different from operator to operator, and different from licenses to licenses. Some licenses have very strict regulation and policies around responsible gaming. Others have a little bit looser, or not as strict. So we leave this with bonuses and whatever it is. We don't want to tell our clients this is how you should run your operation. We provide them the tools, and they decide the details of it based on configuration that we have enabled in our platform.
Do you think that we will ever reach a point where AI handles 100% of tier 1 support queries in iGaming?
Yes, but hard to say when. 5 years, 10 years, who knows? It goes so fast now. It goes so fast. 100%. Yeah, I think it could handle most tier 1 questions with high accuracy. However, iGaming, full automation might take a while due to regulatory needs and yeah. I would say not pass on the question, but for the next 5 years, no. After that, I can't say.
Yeah, because of the very diverse audience basically that is asking the questions. I think this is one of the biggest parts of this, because it's not like in e-commerce. It's much more complex than that. So can you share a real world example where you guys reduced churn or dramatically improved player satisfaction?
Yeah, as we are going live with our first clients, we don't have the full production data.
Okay.
2 things to mention: availability. The AI agents are available 24/7, 365 days a year. That's a good impact. And then speed. We have seen that automating routine queries significantly reduces the response time. Just to mention 2.
All right. So from a CFO's point of view, what does the return of investment on smart support actually look like? And is it about cost savings, retention, or is it about something totally different?
Depends on the CFO, but those I know, they tend to focus a lot on the cost savings. So a ticket sold by an AI agent ranges from 25 cent to €3. And by a
Okay.
human, it ranges somewhere between €5 and €15, depending on the agents, where the agent's geographically located.
Yeah.
But it extends um, to retention as well, where the better experience increases player lifetime value and even revenue through upsales opportunity during the support operations.
Okay. So you said earlier that failed payments are one of the biggest friction points. So how is Tugi Tark turning that from a headache into an opportunity?
Yeah. So we have something called proactive support,
Okay.
um, which is more smart integrations than AI. So what is happening is that if a deposit fails for whatever reason, we get an API call from the payment platform with the reason of the failure. That triggers the chat widget to open up in front of on the screen where the player is instantly. So he's still probably in the wallet, but he don't know what went wrong. He has seen an error message that it didn't work. So we open the chat widget on the player side, stating the reason for the failure and provide a solution. And sometimes basic things. It could be a monthly deposit limit that the player have. So what we do then, that we are telling him the reason, we are sending a message how he can increase his deposit limits, and try again. Of course, sometimes you have cool off periods, etc. But we have done tests on this, and it looks very, very promising, because then we are suddenly having an impact on the deposit count and the deposit value, which I think have a great impact.
All right. So just a side question, because you guys are headquartered in Estonia and are growing really fast. I've recently received the e-residency, and I'm waiting for the kit to create a business myself there. Why did you choose Estonia?
So the previous business was, I don't want to talk too much politics, but so the previous business was in Spain. And
Okay.
I must say, I'm used to Sweden, where I think things are quite flowing and efficient and work quite well. We were struggling in Spain. So I started to do a research where should we relocate our business to, where it's a business-friendly governance. And
All
we
right.
found Estonia. I reached out to some people in my network, listened to their experience with Estonia, and decided to try that, and couldn't be happier. Estonia have been fantastic to us as a place of having the business, and I'm so happy for all the professionals that we work with over there, and with the governments and the e-residency card and the reporting and the fundraising, and they've been just absolutely excellent. So that was a great decision we took.
All right, it's good to hear this because I did the same thing, by the way. And yeah, we're relocating there starting at September-ish. All right.
Okay, good.
So what's been the biggest operational challenge in scaling so quickly? Because you guys are doing it really fast, and especially most probably you are doing this remotely, right?
Yeah, we do. So I think that magic happens easier when smart people in the same room. So that's a challenge. And I'm trying to figure out how we could do that as it is now. Maybe we change that eventually when we get to an even more scale up phase. Maybe we decide that we need the people in the same room, at least for parts of the year, and therefore open up an office somewhere where we could agree to do so. But I think that's what that was missing. So it's, we're also a very new team. So the communication, collaboration, making sure that things are not falling between between the shares. And I would say that's the challenge. Still is the challenge. But on the other side, if you decide to, okay, we're going to open an office in a location in a city, then you need to hire people within a radius of 20 kilometers. The rest of the talents are excluding from what you can hire. So that's also a compromise. And the question is, what's have the highest priority? And I don't have the answer to that yet. We will learn as we go.
Oh, that's good to hear. So what's coming next for Tugi Tark until the end of the year? Maybe some new features, markets, or maybe some partnerships that you can say.
Yes, we have signed our first 5 clients, which is a great milestone for us. Now we are in the onboarding process with them to configure this. There's some are waiting for the platform. Some of them is slightly bigger and it's require a migration process that doesn't happen within 2 weeks. So of course, that's a big thing for us going live with the first real tickets. The evolution of our AI agents that is getting better and learning speed of light. And then we hope to do a lot of integrations with CRM systems, with game providers if needed, more payment systems. I think so. Yeah, smart integration is definitely going to enable our system to provide more value. So that's what's going to happen from now until what we're going to focus on from now until December.
All right. So now stepping away from Tugi Tark and stepping into Harpo's life experience. So what's the biggest lesson you learned as a founder, especially one who has straddled both services and products?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure thing. So what was the biggest lesson you learned as a founder, especially because you dealt with both services and also with products?
Yeah, I think speed is key.
Okay.
Can result in mistakes along the way. So no ego, just fix, move on, learn fast from your mistakes, try to avoid to repeat them. I think strategy, cash, people, and execution. It's what you need. And if you get that right, you will succeed. We haven't reached that point yet, but we hope to do so.
All right, that's good to hear. So this has been it in terms of question. Now I have one more thing I need from you, because we started a couple of episodes ago to have this feature at the end of our episodes. You will hear the message from the earlier guest about basically a suggestion or maybe like a good thought to the next guest. And then you can also share some, words of wisdom to the next guest, because you don't know who that will be. So you can do it just in a general way. But first you need to hear like the last message. Let me just quickly embed this here. All right. Let's do the share sound thing. Okay. Good. So here it is.
Really hard to beat this message because true. I like it a lot, and I just want to probably evolve it. Just we need to live in the moment. It's so fascinating around what is going on. Of course, a lot of bad stuff happening as well, but we shouldn't focus probably on that and trying to really live our lives, trying to create a better future for our children, because this is the world they will be living. So yeah, focus on the life balance, be with your family, hug your family today and tell them that they're really important and that you love them.
All right. Okay, so yeah, this has been the let me just stop the sharing. So this has been the message from our earlier guest. So now you have the opportunity to greet or share some wisdom to the next guest?
Yeah, that was really wisdom words. Firstly, you're probably going to probably knows this, but I would say something like, I think the reputation is everything, especially in iGaming. So integrity is a very, very important value.
That is short and sweet and right on spot. Thank you so much. This will definitely be something as a surprise for the next guest. And Harpo, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best with your company, and we will be, of course, helping you spread the news on our outlets. So, yeah, if you want to give some shout outs to the team members, now is the time to do it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sultan, for having me. Great to be here, have this conversation with you. And yeah, to my team, Tugi Tark, really, really great team. Thanks for showing up every day and doing what you're doing. And to our clients and partners and those that we work with, and to those that we hopefully work with in the future, and to all the iGaming peers out there.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for our audience for sticking around. We will be back next week with more crazy stuff. Take good care, everyone. Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for this section of Hipther Talks. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Don't forget to tune in next week for more insights and discussions. Stay connected with us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and more. Until then, keep exploring and keep growing. We'll see you next time.